Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to build your very own Discord bot with Python. So we're going to use a library called discord.py and let's jump right into it. So first things first, you're going to need to go to discordapp.com if you don't already have a Discord account. It's free to create an account. All you have to do is verify your email address. And when you create a Discord account, you can open Discord, and it's probably going to ask you to create a server, which you do want to do. If you don't do that when you create an account, you can just come over here and click this plus and add a server. Don't click join, although there are many wonderful Discord servers to join. While we're developing our bots, we're going to do that in our own bot development server. So click create a server and call it whatever you want. I'm just going to say Python bot tutorial. Click create. It's gonna set a few things up for you, and it's gonna add you into a server. This is the link you would use to invite people to your server, but for this tutorial, we're just gonna be it's just gonna be us and our bot in the server. So this is what you should see when you've got your server set up. The next thing you want to do is install discord.py. So discord.py has a couple different versions, and they have just come out with a new version, and it's much better than the old version. So when you search discord.py, you want to make sure you're going to the documentation for 1.0 or above, and not going to the old documentation that's less than 1.0. So make sure you get to discord.py 1.0. And come over here, introduction. You have to have Python 3.5.3 or higher installed, which you can get from python.org if you don't already have it. Just come to downloads, and the most recent version should always be high enough for you to get started. Super easy to install, and once you got Python 3.5 or higher on your machine, we'll go ahead and install the library. Before we do that, we're going to create a virtual environment. So I'm on a Mac. I'm going to use Spotlight Search, which is Command Space, to open up my terminal. If you're on a Windows machine, you can just open up your command prompt and follow along. I'm going to move on to my desktop. I'm going to make a directory for my bot. So I'm going to call this Discord tutorial. I'm going to move into, you can see it created that right over here. I'm going to move into Discord tutorial, and I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to actually create this virtual environment. So you have to be in the directory that you want to have your code in, and you run this command, python3-m venv, and then the name of what you want to call your environment. If you're on a Windows machine, it'll be this command. So python3-m venv bot environment. So python3-m venv, and we're going to call it bot environment. What this does is it allows you to encapsulate everything in a little environment, so it doesn't you don't have any then conflicts with anything you install versus other things on your computer. And you should always work in virtual environments when you're doing development with Python. If you've never worked with them before, they're pretty easy to work with. This is basically all you need to do. If you want to learn more about virtual environments in Python, go to the Python documentation, which is here at this link. So then once you've created your environment, you have to activate it. And let's look at the structure here. It creates a folder with some other folders and some files and stuff in it, and we need to call activate. So what we're going to do is use the path to activate and the source command. So it's source, and then it's whatever the name of that directory for your environment was called, and then it's bin, and then it's activate. Go ahead and hit enter, and you can see what it does is it activates that environment right here for you. So if you see the environment over there, you're working in your environment. That's what you want. Let me just show you how to deactivate. The keyword or the command deactivate turns off your environment, and you can see we're back to our normal working directory. So up arrows to use the source command and the path to activate to start your environment after you've created it, and then deactivate obviously shuts it off. We want it on when we install discord.py. So let's get right to that. At this point in time, I'm making this March 10th, 2019. At this point in time, this command is not working correctly. This still installs an old version of discord.py. That should change soon. So, if you're watching this in the future, this command should work, but for right now, this command doesn't work, and I'm going to give you, in the link to this video, in the video description, I'm going to give you a link to the correct way to install the newest version, which you should absolutely use. Otherwise, the code I'm writing is not going to work for you. So make sure you have version 1.0. Eventually, it will be from right here. But if you're watching this soon after I've created it, you're probably going to need to use this link. And don't try to type it. I'm going to just copy and paste it from the video description. So in your terminal, inside, while you have your environment activated, copy and paste the command to install discord.py. Once again, get that from the video description and run that command. It'll take just a moment to install it. And when it's done, you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, now we've got discord.py, we've got that library installed in our virtual environment. Let's create our application. So this is going to be our Python file that we're going to be writing our bot in. So it's a Python file inside of here, same level as our environment, our virtual environment. So let's go ahead and start coding. In order to get our bot, we need to create a bot user and we need to add it to our server. So once again, this link is going to be in the description for the video. You want to go to discordapp.com, discordapp.com/developers/applications and click New Application. This is going to be your bot, the application, and then it's going to have a bot user. So let's just call this PyBot. That's fine. Doesn't really matter what you call it. And what you're going to see is this page. You'll have a client ID for your application. You'll need this to add your bot to your server. But you don't actually have a bot until you come over here and click Add Bot. And this adds a user that is a bot to the application that we just created. You click Yes, and you will see you have a bot now. Caution, in this tutorial we're not going to host our bot live in the cloud or anything, so it's not a super big deal, but in the future when you are hosting your bot, you need to keep this token super secret. Do not let anyone see it or they can mess with your bot, which is a bad thing. So you got to keep these super secret, and once again, I'll show you that in a later tutorial that goes into details about everything you need to know about discord.py and how to host your bots in the cloud. We're not going to do that, so I don't mind showing you this. Also, I'm going to be deleting my bot as soon as I finish this video, so it's no harm, no foul if you see this. This is what the token looks like. If yours does get compromised, you can always regenerate it, but just don't let that happen. Don't let it get compromised in the first place. Regenerating it, you're going to have to update your code and copy in the new token and stuff. So once you got your token, you can copy and paste it into your Python file as a constant. Token is great, a great thing to call it. Once again, you got to keep this super secret, so don't ever publish this to source control that's available to the public. If you publish this on GitHub, people can then come and compromise your bot. So just be cautious. Usually you'll want to keep this in an environment variable, and I'll show you how to do that in a later tutorial. Okay, now you got your bot created, you got your token. You want to come back to general information and copy your client ID. And you're going to have a link to this URL in the video description, and you'll see all those X's. Just copy and paste your client ID and hit enter. And what it's going to do is allow you to add your bot to your server that you just created. Go ahead and click authorize. And it's going to try and make us prove that we're not robots. Okay, let's go ahead and select to try and prove that we're human. And it believed us. That's a great thing. So once you see this authorized message, you can close this window. So now you can see over here your bot user has been added to your server. You'll see some sort of little message down here that says your bot was added, and that's a great thing. You can see though your bot is offline. In order to get your bot online, you are going to have to code your bot. So let's get started doing that. First we want to import Discord, and then we're going to also import something from Discord, which is going to be called commands. From discord.ext import commands. Alright, now that you've got that, you can do things like add commands for your bot, which is super important because otherwise your bot doesn't really do anything. So the next thing you need is create the bot prefix, and what this is this is just going to be like the prefix that you use to invoke the bot's commands. If you've never worked on Discord before, that's a little maybe cryptic, but I'll show you how it works. If you've worked on Discord before and interacted with the bot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, then we need to kind of create our bot. So commands.bot, and then we're going to pass in the command prefix and give it the prefixes that we just added. So your prefix doesn't have to be exclamation mark or $sign. It could be a question mark or whatever. Usually the prefixes should be some sort of punctuation and not the @ sign. So these ones are great ones to start with, although you could use like your question mark or maybe even like ampersand or something. For right now we'll just stick with these ones. Every once in a while though you might like be in conflict with another bot. So like say that these are already used up by some other bot, you may want to use commands like the + or something like that, or the question mark, so that you avoid those conflicts with commands that are already used by other bots. The next thing we need to do is allow our bot to get like started, and what we're going to do is use the @Bot Event Decorator, and we're going to create an async function called onReady that allows us to respond to our bot getting logged in to Discord. And so what we're going to do, because we're all using Python 3, I think it's wonderful to use Python 3 f strings. So let's do that. Logged in as, and then we're going to say bot.user. Okay, so this allows us to kind of monitor and print out as soon as the bot actually gets logged into Discord, so that we can verify that our bot is online. Next thing we want to do is actually just run our bot. So it's going to be bot.run. And we have to pass in that token that I told you has to be super secret. We have to pass that in order to connect to Discord. And this is all you have to do to actually get your bot online, so let's verify that it works. Come over to your terminal and you're going to make sure you are in the same directory as app.py, and then just call python 3 app.py and run that file. So running this script is going to connect you to Discord. As long as you've done everything correct, you should see your message that says you're logged in. Come over to your server, and now you can see your bot is online. Awesome, that's exactly what we wanted, but the problem is our bot doesn't do anything right now, so let's go add some commands to our bot. Alright, so let's first add a super basic command. So this is going to be with the decorator for bot.commands, bot.command. And then we're going to create another async function. And we're going to create this one, let's just call this hello. And every command gets a context. What that means is basically you've got to be able to access the bot needs to be able to access the context of the message that has invoked the command so that it can interact with that user specifically. Otherwise, it doesn't really have any way to like interact with the user. Like otherwise, it'll just get lost somewhere in the server. It won't know who to respond to or whatever. So if we want to like access the channel or the message or the user that sent the message, any of that stuff is going to come from context. So we are going to await ctx.send. So like I said, context is how we're going to access the channel. So that's how we send the message back. So let's just say, hi there, and let's actually @ our user. Hi there, let's just @ ctx.message.author.mention, and then let's give them an exclamation mark. That's how it works. So let's see if we can get this bad boy up and running. So the context gives us access to the channel so that we can send a message, and it also gives us access to the message so we can grab the author and @ them. If you're not familiar with how that works, Discord allows you to @ someone kind of like you would on Twitter, to like send them a notification. So let's shut this down. Every time you make a change to your code, you want to restart your bot, which is going to log your bot out of your server, restart your code, and log your bot back into your server. Once it says logged in, you can come over here, verify your bot's online, and let's try our first command. So we gave our bot command prefix of exclamation mark or $sign. So let's try both of those. And the command we created was hello. So you can see our bot responds to our command that we created, and it responds by @ing us. So it mentions us. Let's try it with the other prefix and make sure it works. So our bot is responding to our invocation of the command, which is amazing. So now we can start creating commands to interact with our bot. Let's add another one to let me show you how to give the bot information and let it process that information. So once again, we're going to add another bot.command decorator, and we're going to create another, async function, and let's call this, let's do something like square root, because that allows you to pass in information to the bot, and they can easily process it really quickly without us having to include a bunch of other libraries and make API calls and stuff. So let's import math. And we are going to obviously need to pass in the context, and then they're going to have to pass in a number. So if we're going to get a square root of something, when we call that command, we want to also allow them to pass in the number that we want the square root of. So let's, obviously we're going to want to cast it because it comes in as a string, of course. And then if you are aware, we cannot take the square root of a negative number, so let's check and make sure that our number is greater than or equal to 0. And then if it is, we'll take the square root of it and return that to the user. So let's say context.send, and let's do an f string, Python 3 stuff, yay. Let's say the square root of your number is, and then we'll get the square root, and we're going to get that by math.square root. And then we've already converted it to a number up there, so we can just pass num in. Now, if it's not a positive number, we're going to have to tell the user we can't do that. So let's just await context.send, and then say I can't take the square root of a negative number. However, there's a caveat because we could. That's just beyond the scope of this tutorial. So those of you who like mathematics or are mathematically inclined know that we could do a negative number square root with complex numbers. And Python does support that. And if you're interested, I encourage you to come back to my channel and learn more about how Python works with things like complex numbers, because I'll go into that in later tutorials. But for right now, let's just keep it real simple and say we can't take the square root of a negative number. So let's save this. Let's go ahead and shut down our bot, start our bot again. When it's logged in, we'll go back to our server, make sure our bot's online, and then let's try that. So we had square root, I think, was the command, and then let's pass in a number. It says the square root of 4 is 2, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Let's try it with a decimal number because we did allow it to take decimals. Okay, great, that seems to work. Square root, let's try a negative number. And our bot's very happy to tell us that it's not allowed to do that. Great, so it looks like it's working exactly the way we want it to. So now you're able to pass information to your bot, allow the bot to process it, and then respond appropriately. Great, let's do one more. Let's show you, okay, Over here, hover over one of these messages, and you can see it allows you to add an emoji reaction. So let's do that. Let's get our bot to respond to our message with an emoji reaction. Let's actually go to Emojipedia and search that and go. Let's go get some. How about let's get some party emojis. Let's copy that, and now we're going to get some. Let's let our bot party. Bot command. Let's create another async function. Let's call this one party, and we're going to need the context, obviously. And then let's go ahead and await. First, what we're going to do is add the reaction. So context dot message is that's how we get the message that the user sent, and then we're going to just say add reaction. It's pretty simple. And then what are you going to add? Well, you've got to add it as a string, but you can just copy and paste that emoji right in there. And then let's further respond. So context dot send. That's how we send that message. And let's do an f string, and let's do a couple more emojis and mention the author. So let's just say let's party. And then we'll say context dot message dot author dot mention, and that should be enough to get us started. Let's save that file. Come down here, shut down the bot, restart our bot. Once our bot's logged back in, we can verify that our bot is logged in over here. Our bot is online, so let's go ahead and say. Let's party. Let's call party as a command. And you can see it adds that reaction. You can hover over the reaction and see that it's actually from your bot. So it says PyBot reacted with and the name of the emoji. And then you can see we're able to use emojis and mention the author. Okay guys, that is a super quick introduction to how to work with Discord bots in Python. The most important thing I'm not covering in this tutorial is how to host your bots online in the cloud. It's super useful because as soon as you shut down your command line over here, your bot's offline, which is terrible. You don't want to be on your computer all the time just to keep your bot online. So the next logical step is to learn how to host your bot. And I'm not going to cover that in this tutorial because it requires a little more, you've got to create an account, and I got to explain how to set all that stuff up, and we're going to have to use GitHub to push up to the cloud. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that in this tutorial. This is just to get you started writing your own bot. And for development, you really only need to run your bot on your local machine. So that's enough for this tutorial. If you're intrigued and you want to learn more about writing bots for Discord with Python, come back to my YouTube channel for the next very thorough tutorial on everything you need to know about writing Python bots for Discord and hosting them in the cloud. I appreciate your view, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.